I'm Ashen Addison from the Crypto Coin Show, and today on Blockchain Interviews we have Akshay Bordia, co-founder of LogX. Akshay, welcome to the show, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me, Ashton.
I'm excited to dive into the newest updates. I know your team's heads down building big updates for this month. I would love to start off our conversation from a high level. If you could just give an overview on LogX as a DeFi super app, everything that your team's building, then we can dive into all the details after that.
Got it. No, absolutely right. It's a pleasure to be talking here with you, right? So just to give you some background, LogX is a DeFi super app which offers 50 plus exotic derivative markets or perpetuals, multiple leverage prediction markets, similar to, for example, what you see out there on the poly market, but with 20x leverage. You can take a long or short on Trump or Kamala Harris or whatnot, where your beliefs are. And then also a meme coin trading marketplace is what we have. So essentially, the net, the idea is very simple. We want to build a DeFi super app that scales across 50 plus blockchains, and it is omnipresent across the DeFi ecosystem. So yeah, that's what we're building at LogX.
Wow. Yeah, that's exciting. A lot of different parts to dive into. I'm curious on your background, Akshay, and why you decided to co-found LogX and these kinds of products.
Got it. So actually, my journey started back in 2016. That was the first time I was introduced to crypto. Back then, it was not called Web3. It was called like crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, bunch of other things, right? So I used to run Bitcoin mining rigs in 2016 based out of a lot of spare university hardware that I had. After that, started using that money and became a full-time trader. In 2017, I used to trade markets almost all the time. Essentially, like whenever Japan markets used to open up, China markets used to open up, I used to sort of always trade those markets. And then after that, I think I just got on the hook with DeFi coming up in the last cycle, then NFTs coming up. I just like kept on seeing more and more interesting financial applications, which to me made 100% sense. To me, felt like future. And interestingly, back then in 2021, I was working for one of the largest fintechs in the world and used to run multiple products there. And that's where I decided that, hey, I want to do something which is like 100x more interesting. And that's where the journey in DeFi started. That's how like LogX was born. Yeah, that's the journey.
That's very cool. And yeah, I could see how, trading all these different markets, when they open, you're like, let's just build a platform that has all of the greatest Web3 markets in the prediction market and derivatives, meme coins, everything. So it's very cool. I'm excited to see how it grows. So now I want to talk about the platform a little bit more. You're talking about it as a super app, and it's great to have all these different markets in there. But what about the products or the key features that the user experience differentiates it from other apps? How is it going to be the best?
Got it. So I think like let's actually go to a couple of problems that are there in DeFi, and then most interestingly, the V1 version of LogX, right, had around 162K users. Even the V2 testnet has more than 1 million, 1.2 million users, right? One of the biggest feedbacks I've received on DeFi is the experience is so much like 1990s. The transaction takes a lot of time. The transactions are not gasless. You face hundreds of pop-ups. None of that is there on centralized exchanges. So one of the sort of, very, very strong mandate that we had was we said in the past, we have worked with so many different protocols. Like we've worked with 100 plus protocols, 30 plus chains in the market. We said, what can we do to create an experience which is very similar to centralized exchanges and at the same time works across 50 plus blockchains. I think like that was the thought process because like users also used to get confused because like LogX V1 was again live on 17 different blockchains. So users used to get very confused. How do I sort of actually navigate across chains? So that's where we said, let's do one thing. Let's build out LogX, right? And fundamentally, it solves for multiple things, but here are the top five things it solves for. A, all transactions are gasless. B, over and above that, the experience feels as good as a centralized exchange because you sort of like don't get any random MetaMask pop-ups and all. C, the chain is 100x faster than any general purpose chain out there. D, we are the first ones in the market to offer innovative leverage prediction markets that sort of, like just psych the person out, creates the right amount of adrenaline rush, right? And fifth is that we are the only product out there which supports so many chains and accepts collateral across any chain, across any asset class, on any chain. So imagine any collateral, any chain,
Wow.
across like markets. So that's sort of like the core innovation that you're bringing in the market.
Wow, that's very interesting, Akshay, to build a seamless experience, especially without having, volatile gas fees and pop-ups. You're really getting back to sort of a traditional, traditional traders from what you're used to in the other markets, not having to deal with all these intricacies that new learning curves in Web3 that people don't want to have to deal with. So that's really interesting. And on the prediction market specifically, that is something that I feel like a lot of people are interested in moving up to the next 3 months, because I've seen it even on television. People are talking about these prediction markets with the Trump and Harris. So can you walk me through how that would work with like up to 20x leverage? So say I had $1,000 and I came in and it's at a 50-50. You can put capital into it, and then depending on who wins or as the percentage changes, then that's where the volatility occurs.
Okay, so let me explain it to you the other way around. Imagine as a consumer, you come in with $1,000. By the way, none of this is financial advice. Just trying to, like walk you through the product itself. Whatever trades anyone makes is up to them to make, right? So imagine you, as a consumer, you come in, and you have $1,000. You take those $1,000. Let's assume on the best product out there, which is like raging out there. Let's assume Polymarket. You put that on Donald Trump. Let's say you believe Donald Trump is gonna win, right? Now the best odd that you have is that $1,000 can only become $2,000, and that too, like the market doesn't like is not super volatile. It just moves like 5%, 10%. That's what we have seen in the past, which means your $1,000 are likely becoming 1,100 or 1,200 at best. Now you come to LogX. You see that 20x amazing leverage slider, and you say, I have 100% conviction Donald Trump is probably going to win. You take in 10 billion, like you take in that $1,000, put a 20x leverage on top of it. There is a position of $20,000 that open up. And the moment you sort of take that bet very, very deep, what tends to happen is the volatile 5%, 10% volatile markets now become 50%, 100% volatile markets. And that is the beauty of what we are building here, which is if you genuinely believe on what you are building, or what you are sort of, if you genuinely believe on where the direction is headed, take a fully leveraged bet, take a bet which gives you that adrenaline rush. That is what like people love in crypto. That is what like crypto in general, like the core ethos of crypto is, which is like do something and take a bet on something which can just become like crazy if it works out.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I'm definitely going to check it out. And there's this market, but then you also mentioned that now there's like 50 plus blockchains, and the interoperability natively is a mess. But LogX is managing to make it easy to trade different assets on different chains. How does that work? Or what's the proper infrastructure that your team has built to make such a seamless experience on all the different markets?
So actually, this is what we did, right? So we've been working with Arbitrum for a long, long time, right? And then we've been chatting with them on on a bunch of on-chain problems for DeFi users. Like it is not super, super clear how fast the transaction will go. The gas fees is like crazy. Sometimes like what happens is that you get like random pop-ups and they don't even approve and whatnot. So people have been facing all these problems all along. And what we realized with LogX is that why don't we use the Arbitrum stack, even though it is like it has certain XYZ things, but it is like the best trading stack out there, battle tested across last 2-3 years. So why don't we pick the Arbitrum stack, use it as a settlement or sort of the trading layer for all the consumers who come to LogX. So we borrowed the Arbitrum stack, we borrowed their stack and said that hey, the LogX network which is going to come out on the core product which is LogX network will be built using the core Arbitrum Orbit stack. That's one. Second, what we did was we said, now how do we make multiple chain stock? So the core infra is amazing. Now how do you make multiple chain stock? That's where we went to this amazing team called as Hyperlane. And we told them like this, it's an interop solution, right? We told them, what can we do together to deploy a custom use case of this, which feels crazy fast. Like even if you like today, if you go to LogX and if you make a deposit, within 10 to 20 seconds, the deposit shows up. Like it doesn't even like happen that way on centralized exchanges. It's like probably like 3x, 4x, 5x faster than even centralized exchanges out there. So you just make a deposit, the deposit shows up like instant. And then after that, whatever you have deposited, it could be BTC, it could be ETH, it could be sort of, even like USDC stable coins. You can use all of that collateral. Buying power is minted on top of it, and you can use that to trade these amazing markets. So that is the core infrastructural innovation that we have created across the board. And the biggest thing that I believe we are bringing to the market with this innovation is our solver model. It's our intent-based solver model, wherein imagine market makers and professional traders or professional prop houses are taking liquidity from Binance, OKX, and Bybit, bridging all of that liquidity and bringing all of that aggregated liquidity and aggregated order book using the intent model on LogX. So technically, the liquidity you have on whatever place you speak about in the DeFi ecosystem right now, it would not even compare to the liquidity that is available for these derivative markets on LogX on day one of launch.
Wow, very interesting. Well, there's definitely a lot of markets, and it's interesting that the Arbitrum technology is there. I'm going to keep that in the back of my head because I know Arbitrum is one of the best layer 2s, but there's much more than people understand on the back end. So very cool, Akshat. And now the next part of the evolution of LogX, I saw there is a token generation event or a TGE for a LogX token. Can you talk about that step? What that means for the platform and how exactly that would work?
Got it. No, absolutely. So think of it this way. The token generation event is something which we believe will fundamentally decentralize the network. And the way it will decentralize the network is that in the Arbitrum stack, we made one custom tweak. This is a tweak that has just come in as a support from the Arbitrum stack itself, which is we made the native gas fee token of the network as $LogX, which is our token itself, right? And because of that serves as the core utility token of the chain, wherein every potential future decision that is taken or every sort of potential action or transaction that happens on the chain is governed by and secured by the token itself. That's the significance of $LogX or the token we are pushing out. Over and above that, the most interesting thing is in the next 7 to 10 days, we are going to launch the mainnet. So the moment mainnet comes out, the token also has to come out so that consumers can use that as the core utility on the chain.
That's good to know. And one thing that people often overlook, they should probably know more about it, is the actual tokenomics of the token and not just how it functions within the platform. Is there anything that you can say about the tokenomics and how it's set up that also drives value to the community and the ecosystem?
Got it. No. So think of it this way. What tends to happen with a lot of tokenomics that I see out there is the token is like sort of this, I don't know, like this random island on which you're sitting, and then sort of the core product is like very, very different. These are two disconnected things. We have not done that. We have done a very straightforward thing. We've integrated whatever value that is out there that is possible, and we have given that power to the token. So imagine majority of the value generated on the protocol in any direction. It could be fees generated. It could be, different sort of new features coming up. It could be, as I mentioned, gas fees, staking benefits, trading benefits, upcoming sort of partner rewards and whatnot. All of that flow to the LogX token purely because of the fact that when I just like genuinely started in DeFi, this was something which I felt is truly powerful. If I own
Mm.
the token of a protocol, let's assume like if I own the stock of some company, right? I always feel that I'm not connected to them because I don't like, I genuinely don't participate in their governance. I genuinely
Hmm.
don't go and like sort of, like interact with the team and like get everything. I think with the product that we have built out, anyone and everyone who sort of owns a share of or owns a part of what we are building, they would be allowed and they would sort of come in to help us out build this further. Imagine like there is this amazing market that you want to build out. You feel like, hey, I want this like F1 market live on LogX, right? You can come in and like put up that across as a proposal, and that is the true power of DeFi. All value that is generated and all sort of steps that are taken has to be taken with by assuming like community as a whole and moving forward from there. So yeah, that's sort of what our view is on how we're building and like sort of evolving the tokenomics as well.
Hmm.
And by the way, like one interesting thing is that 67% of the supply we have allocated for community. That's very rare. Like it's funny to say this, but that's very rare to see it in this cycle. But we just said like, let's do it. Let's do the level best we can.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that insights, and yeah, I haven't seen that in any other projects. So very interesting. And now looking forward beyond the TGE and continuing to grow the platform and the users, what do you think will be some of the hardest challenges or biggest opportunities for scaling the platform and the users?
So I have this view about the product, right? About what we're building over the last like bear market, this again good cycle, then again multiple cycles, whatnot, right? Is we want to bring mass scale adoption on chain. And when I say that, what I mean to convey is that these simple, amazing use cases, like these leverage prediction markets we are talking about, like we are talking about, like let's assume tomorrow a meme coin sort of launch pad, or we're talking about like a marketplace for RWAs. These simple, easy, interesting innovations are the innovations. By the way, like we are also expanding on Ton blockchain, which will drive in like millions of users on LogX, right?
Hmm.
These simple, interesting innovations are the innovations which will bring the next set of 100 million users on crypto. And
Hmm.
that is what we want to go after. That is like
Hmm.
the biggest challenge because everybody talks about infra, everybody talks about like a bunch of other things. And to be very honest with you, we have also innovated a lot on the infra. But the real truth is we want to get to 100 million consumers.
Hmm.
And it's sort of a meme right now in the market. Where like everybody wants to get a lot of users, but everybody is building infra. But we want to be the pioneers there who would say we will give attempt after attempt to bring in the next 100 million users in Web3 over the next 2 to 3 years.
Hmm. Yeah, I would love to see hundreds of millions of more people come into Web3. And you mentioned there the Ton blockchain, Telegram. I know they have hundreds of millions of users. That would be a great segue into onboarding them. Is there a plan to expand further into the Telegram ecosystem or sort of ingrain those users into LogX?
Yeah, absolutely. So recently we launched a video. So we are going to launch on the Ton blockchain within I think Q4, early Q4 itself. That's what is there on our roadmap. And the idea is so straightforward. You open the Tron mini app, you take a bet or take a sort of opinion whether Donald Trump is going to win, let's say Kamala Harris is going to win, or let's say X player is going to win, or Y player is going to win, and whatnot. Take some sort of leverage on it. Like just click two buttons, and then you're sort of long one short on that position. So the most
Hmm.
interesting thing that we're bringing to that interface is that while you are traveling, while you are on the go, you get to make that decision. You get to make that punt. So I think like that's sort of the core of what we are trying to do. We have certain innovative partnerships also with the community over there. So that will also line up once we do the launch. But particularly, this is one of the most exciting launches for me, if you would ask me as a product enthusiast.
Definitely, and I'm bullish on Telegram, and I think that the news recently has only made them continue to grow. I feel like ingraining them deeper into Web3 and blockchain is a great idea. So I'm looking forward to that. Akshat, now looking forward to the next part of the launch for LogX. What's the best way to follow along with the launch, get involved with it? I know people can go and try out the products, but there's also the TGE event. How can I learn more and make sure that I'm not missing out on the opportunities as LogX is growing?
The best way right now to follow LogX is to go to our Twitter handle, which is LOGX underscore trade. So LogX underscore trade. Go to our Twitter handle. You can find like majority of the updates there. You can also go to our website, which is logx.network. That's also live. It's a new, fresh website, so
Mhm.
you'll get a welcome surprise there. And third, I would say even if you do not own anything on chain, no financial transaction whatsoever, go to the mainnet that is going to come out in the next 5 to 7 days, and you will find a free gift box once you connect your wallet for the first time. It's a free gift box. I'm not going to share much more about what you will get, but the moment you connect your wallet, the moment you go through that journey, you'll find that cute little gift which you will get as a valued community member of LogX.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to it. I can leave a link to the Twitter X, to the platform and the new site, and I'm going to check out that gift box. So very cool. I'm excited for the launch. I'm excited to check out all these different the prediction markets and the other markets. All the best for you and your team moving forward with LogX, and I would love to follow up again in the near future.
Got it. No, no, thank you so much for having me, and it's been a wonderful chat with you, Aston.